Becky. I'm a PhD student on the EAO NERC DTP at the University of Manchester and a Chester Zoo conservation scholar. Our project is looking at how birdsong evolves during ex situ conservation, particularly during breeding in zoos and other populations like that. And the idea is that because it's a learned trait, we see lots of different changes building up just because of learning error. And because these changes are random in most cases, they're very different between different populations. So we know that in the wild generally, birds from different populations have very different songs based on where they live. And from one specific example that looks at domestication, we know that the birds that were the original strain and the domesticated strain have very different songs. So we think that there might be a difference between populations that are kept for ex situ conservation and those that are in situ. And obviously moving animals around during conservation, we want to see if those animals' songs are similar enough that they would still be able to communicate or whether it would cause a potential barrier. We've identified several different populations of our model species, which is the Java sparrow, and that's a really great bird to work with because it's very common in zoos around the world, but it's also threatened in its home range, so there is some conservation concern there as well. The idea is that we record birds from lots of these different locations, and we can then load their songs into a piece of software that shows you an image of what the sound looks like, and then we can take out various features from that, so what kind of syllables they're using in their songs, how high or low they're singing, how long they sing for, and compare those between different populations to see what differences are occurring and how big those differences are. Unfortunately, loads of songbirds are endangered, but those that are critically endangered are very hard to access, so we can't get the data we need to make these kind of comparisons. So working with a model like the Java sparrow is really good because it allows us to test the theories and then be able to apply them to other situations once we know what's going on. At the moment, songbirds are really in trouble. There's a lot of campaigns going on, and I think that it's really interesting to be involved in such a collaborative project and to be able to combine all of the things I like, which are behaviour conservation and management, into one project at the zoo. The way that my application process worked, because I'm on a training programme, the project was formulated before I was involved, so my supervisors at Manchester and at Chester Zoo came up with this idea and they advertised for a particular student to come and be part of that. For me, it's been really great. I've been visiting the zoo since I was a kid and I was a junior member. I also completed the one-year internship program a few years before I started my PhD, so I was really excited to come back and work with Chester Zoo. I just think it's been really good to be surrounded by so many people working on so many different conservation projects that I can speak to and get more information about things that are just completely outside my field.